What I'm gonna share is a very intimate part of my journey. There was a lot of struggles that kept coming after my last video. But before I tell you where I am, why, and how I got here, I need to tell you the whole story.
January 24th. I was once more living a place I had called home for a year. This cannabis farm that I never imagined I would leave so abruptly. I felt so lost as I had to pack my whole life and had no idea where I was going or what I was going to do with my life. I ended up at Lucero's place for a week, my Mexican friend with whom I worked in the extraction room for a few months. There, I took the decision to go to a bigger city to have more opportunities.
It was a stressful time because rent are very expensive. It's probably the most expensive city in British Columbia, and I thought to myself, why am I sure I want to stay here? Honestly, I wasn't sure of anything, but I found a flat with a Brazilian girl and I went to live with her. And that's at her place that I was able to finally finish editing my last video. But something happened after I published it.
Joe Dispenza says that our brain and body don't know the difference between having an actual experience in our life or just be thinking about it. Because neurochemically, it's the same. Making this video triggered so many past emotions, and it felt as if the events were happening all over again. It opened all the wounds that were still healing. I felt stuck in the past, not being able to move on, and at that moment, I completely collapsed. My immune system crashed. My skin was breaking out with those inflammatory cysts on my face. I had scalp psoriasis and felt extreme fatigue because of my hypothyroidism that was also making me extremely sensitive to the cold. It had become hard to get out of bed in the morning. And one day, I woke up and my neck, upper back, and lower back were completely stuck. I had no social life and spent most of my days inside, having panic attacks watching the numbers go down in my bank account.
So I went to the chiropractor and I found a little job in a Mexican restaurant where I was paid maybe $12 US an hour. And I worked there for 2 hours and I was like, I am out of here. This is not what I want to do. This is not what I stayed here for. And I don't want to work for anyone else anymore. And that's where I took a very important decision. So my Mexican friend had left me her massage table and I had it with me, and I thought, since it was something I knew how to do and that I really enjoyed doing, that I should just be doing that. So I did many courses to deepen my knowledge and to keep improving. And it was a big jump for me, like a big jump into the unknown, a big gamble, because I didn't know how it was gonna turn out. And I had to go against all those beliefs that I have about myself that I just couldn't do it, that I couldn't be my own boss and that I couldn't have my own business, and it was very challenging. I had a big lack of confidence in myself and I was scared. I was so afraid to fail. At the same time, I started my breathwork instructor course and I enrolled in a holistic nutrition course, which is going to last a year. So that was a bit overwhelming for me at that time, but I was so motivated to invest in myself and in my health and learning things that would just be useful.
As I kept practicing breathwork, meditation, visualization, and giving myself love, my anxiety and stress levels started to drop. My skin was also starting to get better, and after studying a lot of new massage techniques, I felt ready to launch my business. I turned my room into my massage studio and started receiving my first clients.
I also started doing mobile massage, which was going to people's places, and I started having incredible feedbacks. Like, I was amazed at how people responded to my massage and my therapies. And I was feeling so aligned with what I was doing that work didn't feel like work anymore.
April 22nd. the day of my birthday, but also the date marking 1 year since I had gone to France to see my dad when he was still alive, before my whole life changed. It's crazy what a difference 1 year can make in a person's life. For my birthday, I just wanted to be in nature. And that's Emilio, a Mexican guy I met in Canada, and we spent the whole winter together. We went camping to an incredible place not too far from home. I burnt my old diaries that day and felt ready to keep moving forward in my life. Finally.
And when it started going really well, like I was receiving a lot of requests, a lot of clients. The person I was living with decided that she wanted to be alone, which I completely understand. And I knew it was starting to bother her, the fact that I was receiving so many people in her own house. So I had to find another place. It was very challenging to find a place that's quiet, that's clean, that has a good location, and that's affordable, and where the person that lives there doesn't mind if I receive people there for my massage. So that was pretty complicated, but a few days before having to leave the place, I found the perfect place.
So my client is coming in less than 3 hours, so I have to get everything ready. I have to turn this room into my new massage studio. All right, it's ready.
And at that stage of my journey in Canada, I had been thinking about living like maybe every month since I decided to stay there. It was my fear of failing and all those challenges that kept coming. I was like, maybe that's a sign I should just leave. But somehow I hold on and I didn't give up. When I was in this place, honestly, things started going so well. I had more and more clients. People were starting to talk about me to their friends and family, and I was just starting to receive a lot more people. And then the sun finally started coming back. Hi, spring is finally here. This is the first time in so many months that I'm not wearing a coat or my thermal clothes. I just feel so much better. Like my mental health hasn't been very good lately, and the weather is changing is helping a lot.
I felt so connected to the weather at that stage of my life. Winter was ending, and so was my inner winter. The flowers were blooming, and I had more opportunities and abundance coming my way. I went on a lot of hikes, kept practicing breathwork and studying more, but I couldn't help but to feel exhausted.
Today is one of those days that I just feel completely exhausted. Mentally, physically. I have been pushing a lot. These last few months, I've been doing courses, like studying courses after courses. I've been pushing myself a lot with all those massages that I've been giving. I feel like sometimes that I have been putting so much into my brain. I'm learning so much that nothing can fit in anymore. Right now, my body is asking me to just do nothing. And that's what I'm gonna do.
It was only for a 2-month lease that I rented this place, and I could also feel that it was starting to bother the person who lived with me. I had to leave the place where I was again. And again, I almost left Canada this time, but I found another place.
By the time I moved into my new place, it was already summer. Everything felt so alive. People everywhere, enjoying every second of this weather that wouldn't last. The city felt as two different worlds, somehow having found this perfect balance between nature and the city life. I was going to the beach, moving around on my bicycle, started dancing salsa again, went to outdoor events, hanging out with friends and going to stunning places. It was also the first time in a while that I was living in a house and not an apartment. I even had a garden. And as always, after moving into a new place, I had to find a way to set up my massage studio to start receiving my clients and promote myself. It was something I had to do on and off, sometimes twice a day, since my massage studio was also my private room and that I couldn't afford to rent 2 rooms in the city. I was still studying a lot, but somehow found a balance, and even though it sounds like everything was finally perfect, well, in reality, it wasn't. I've been having a lot of issue to sleep lately because my roommates are 18 years old. I don't know if you can hear the noise, but there is no insulation here. So I basically hear every steps it takes. And this guy woke me up at 2 a.m. The problem is that I can't fall back asleep, and I couldn't until 8 a.m. Luckily, I had the opportunity to go to Vancouver Island for a week, which was a relief. I had been sleep deprived for a month and I needed a serious break. The lease for the house I was renting was for only 2 months anyway. And even though it had been working out pretty well despite all the obstacles, I decided that this month would be my last one in Canada. This trip came up perfectly to say goodbye to this country that I called home for almost 2 years. And after a 10-hour-long journey and almost 2 years without seeing the ocean, I finally got to feel the salty breeze on my skin again, bringing with it a sense of home. I went to Vancouver Island with a client who became a friend.
Alors, Marc-André de son petit nom, français-canadien avec un accent québécois.
Vancouver Island is home to some of the most magnificent old-growth forests and the largest trees on Earth, and luckily, we got to see it with the sun. But soon enough, it started pouring rain, and we had to camp in very harsh conditions. It was very cold and challenging. We lost about 15 degrees Celsius in a day, and let's say that I already missed the dry and warm weather of Kelowna. Unfortunately, after the only day of sun we had, it never stopped raining, and we decided to head back home.
But little did I know that this trip was actually preparing me to be uncomfortable again. This is why. I received a message from an Instagram friend, Julian, whom I had been talking to for like 4 or 5 years, and we had never seen each other. And he's building this beautiful off-grid property in the coast of Mexico. He invited me to go to his place. And this is where I am. I'm on the Pacific coast of Mexico, in the middle of the jungle. It's very wild here, and it's been very challenging. But that I will tell you in the next video. I'll show you what my life has been looking like since I've been here and what my plans are. Thank you for staying that long. For those who stay till the end, thank you so much for being here. Honestly, I feel so blessed with this community and all the incredible message I've received, all the love and support. I'm sending you lots of love, and if you're going through challenges, hold on, it's gonna get better. There is a lesson in everything in life. So, I'll see you in the next video.